Greetings and welcome back to the lab. I want to talk about the Retro TV project. This was the original, not in its frame, and this is the update that I want to talk about. The original was set up so that, how shall I put this? Well, the original was set up and the LEDs were in the wrong order. I got confused when I was doing some stuff, and I think I've now solved the problem on what I did wrong. And it's rather, I don't know if you call it amusing or not. Well, I guess I already had it in another position. So, there we go, back to zero. So supposedly channel 1, that was supposed to be red. Channel 2, that was supposed to be green, is much, much brighter. Channel 3 was the two together. Channel 4, so this is really digital. It's the third LED, which in this case was supposed to be blue, but it's red now. Put in the yellow again, put the green back, put the yellow and the green back. It was supposed to be red, green, and blue at this point, and make kind of a white. Then I had one more to go. So I was going to have the yellow in there, but now it's blue because things got all mixed up. Well, if I go through and turn it off, that's yellow, then green, then red, then blue. I think what happened, and I had intended it to be red, green, blue, and then yellow, and I labeled the circuit board differently. And I think what happened was I was thinking to myself, okay, when the first one comes on, it should be like the 4 in the middle, then it should jump to the corners, and then it should do some stuff in the middle so that it was spread out more as you were working your way around. So I changed all the labels, but then I think I forgot what I was doing and didn't update the wiring to match the labels. So that's what happened, but the wiring itself is still set up to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what was going on. Once I got it all sort of, I was comparing what I had done to what I had intended to do, and when I was done, I was going, oh my, it's red, green, blue, yellow. So that's what happened with that. Let me demonstrate what that's supposed to look like. Get that plugged in. There we go. These connectors are a little bit fussy. So now we're plugged in. We should have, if I rotate the switch, red, then green, then red and green, which actually should make, is it yellow? Yeah. Red and green together should make kind of a yellowish color. Then you got blue. Then you got, now that's just the power bank turning itself off. Then you got, come on, turn. Blue and red, blue and green, and then all three, which would make white. And then you got that extra one, so I've got yellow. Then I've got red. And I ran out because it's only 10 values on this particular switch, which is this switch here, which is one of these switches, which I bought, back in the 90s, when I was working on my senior project for electrical engineering. So maybe the late 90s, so maybe they're only 25 years old. But these now have gotten super expensive. I've been looking all around. The best deal I can find is on AliExpress, and it's probably some switches that had some small defect or another and didn't quite make it through quality control. But instead of throwing them away, they dump them on the market as cheap versions of these. Either way, they're still just too expensive for what I'm trying to do on the channel is things that are more accessible. If these are going to end up costing you, if you just want to build one of these, you end up spending like $7, $8 for one of these. It's crazy. So I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the design to get rid of these and put in a regular dip switch, which is those, I'll put a picture up on the screen so you can see, but it's 4 individual switches in this case, and it'll give you all 16 channels. You could artificially limit it to 13 if you wanted to, but if you're trying to replicate 13 channels on a TV, I'm not going to go quite that far. I need to redo the 3D print. I need to redo the circuit board. On the back of here, there's a panel. That is fine. I'm going to leave that one alone. But I'm going to redesign this with that in mind. Also, the brightness control on this one, I don't have a brightness control anymore. I had to do some bypass wires to just keep it set at the appropriate resistances, and I had to determine what those resistances were. Hopefully you noticed that these were a lot more balanced than these were. So yeah, that's kind of where we are on this project. This is why we prototype, like I keep saying. But I think I'm going to go through, and so probably the next stage of this is going to be maybe a larger version of this print. At least I proved that I can make a smaller print. But I think for convenience, I'm going to redesign this board a bit. I'm going to figure out how to fit that dip switch in here, because the dip switch takes almost the same amount of space as these two controls, which included that brightness. And I got to figure out if there's some way I can do the brightness, and I got to do some testing for that. But once I get all that resolved, I'll have new circuit boards for these. I'll have a new 3D print for this. And hopefully I will have a way of mounting this, a different kind of diffusion material. So there's going to be, two circuit boards. There's going to be the 3D print and the diffusion for the 3D print. So there's going to be 4 different objects that I got to get designed and made and start putting together. So that's kind of where we are on that. This is, and I wanted to point out, this is not actually, I wanted to show some of the parts that I'm using, but it turned out they're all manufactured by the same company, or at least sold by the same company. So it's not an endorsement of that company. It happens to be what I have. But if you're looking for parts, that is an option. That's it. I just wanted to give an update on this project and where it is and what I need to do next. And then next video, we'll be on to some other project, some continuation of some other project. Thank you so much for watching.